Good afternoon and welcome. Damn it, you jumped there, Josh.
Yeah, I was doing Discord stuff and you were like, ah, and I was like, oh, okay, it's happening. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, while I introduce us, I've got to fix these horrible cameras again. It's so hard to prepare this while not on air. You'd be really surprised. Why is Toby's head so big?
I mean,
I get a lot of compliments. People say nice things about me online, and then it just keeps on going. I can't fit through doors nowadays. This hat, this is an XXXXL hat. Like it looks normal in proportion to my head, but that's because my head is huge.
Oh my goodness, this is a disaster. Okay, everyone watching, just ignore what's going on screen right now while I introduce everyone. But first, Josh. How are you doing today? You had a birthday recently. That's fun.
Did have one of his birthdays. I'm 27 now, so I'm legally old. Apart from all old people say I can't say that. So it's like I can't win. Young people say I'm old, and then old people say I'm not old enough. So I don't know what that makes me, unfortunately.
It's
just a good time.
Just age.
Yeah, I am age.
I am.
Everyone's just a bit uppity about that, aren't they? Like, what is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's like, sorry.
and Toby, the Cappy to my Mario.
Really? Not the Mario to my Luigi? I just thought it was the go-to.
I don't know.
And Princess Peach is feeling very left out, but
well, how are you doing today? Not great, as I.
This is part water, which I've splashed on my face. But before that, it was sweat. Today's been a stressful day, but you know what? It's funny because it's all to do with like gas and electric, and now we're talking about the plumber. We're talking about the pipe man, Mario himself. Today should be quite chill. Today will be nice and relaxing.
Well,
please,
nice and relaxed for you guys, I hope, because I've had no end
drama, right?
to my issues today. I wouldn't go as far as to say drama, but here's like the pinnacle. Here's like the big moment that kind of tipped it all off. I finished Pokemon Let's Go. Yay. I'm going to move on to Fall Guys. And it's like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do the whole 2 PC thing. It's got it set up. I've got it ready to go. All I need to do is turn the other PC on, and away I go. So I turn the other PC on. Here's the issue. I only have one mouse right now because a certain somebody has been borrowing my second mouse for quite a long period of time.
You can come get it.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to immediately after this podcast. So what that meant is that I've got to be like, as I switch from one PC to the other, I've got to unplug the mouse and plug it back in. So I plug it into the gaming PC, and I'm like setting up Fall Guys and that, and great. And it's like, okay, I just need to put it back into the streaming PC so I can fiddle with OBS, change the title name of the stream and that kind of thing, and then we're good to go. Unfortunately, as I mindlessly got the USB in, I'm trying to put it in the USB port, I hit the power button on the streaming PC. And next thing I know, and I don't even notice this, next thing I know, I look up at the screen and they're all black. I'm like, oh, what's happened? And yeah, obviously I'd shut the streaming PC down. The funny thing is, the whole joy of using a second PC is supposed to be that you can have issues with the gaming PC. It can crash, you can have to restart it, whatever, and the streaming PC is unaffected. That's supposed to be the joy. But if you accidentally heavy hand the streaming PC and hit the power button, not much you can do about that. So that's been my recent experience.
So go on, Josh.
I was gonna say I can relate to you, Dad, because I have a habit of resting my foot on top of my speakers underneath my desk, and it kind of puts my foot right in place next to the plug socket. So every now and then, I accidentally switch off my whole computer setup just because of my foot. Yeah. So you have a heavy-handed hand, I have a heavy-handed foot, I guess. But
yeah. I've done that too. I have done that too. I have done that in the past.
We've had sessions of I remember being over playing Xbox or something, and your Xbox was under your desk, or your PC or your PlayStation was under your desk.
Oh yeah.
And just you just kind of have these moments where you're when you're really absorbed in a game, and maybe there's a shock moment, Joel, and then you hit the power button, usually in the most painful moment possible. It never happens when you're just after an autosave, you're just checking the local area. It's always yes, I just beat that section.
I'm sure it's also happened when we used to play Fortnite together at my place when Toby used to be an Xbox gamer. So I'd have my Xbox plugged into one monitor, and Toby would play on that. And then I'd be playing on my other monitor on my PC. We'd be playing Duos and Fortnite together. I'm sure I'm sure one of us kicked the Xbox power button when we were in the middle of like a firefight in Fortnite or something, and just well,
Oh yeah.
that game's over.
Well, we're not winning that game, you know. And again, never happens when you've just landed. Always happens when you've made like top. Oh man, there's only 2 other players. Like we could win this. That's when it happens. Always.
Anyways. So much to talk about. Obviously, the main topic of today is going to be the Mario remasters. But I'm going to throw a little curveball. I didn't prepare either of you for this. There have been recent announcements on the Xbox side of things. The Xbox Series S was finally confirmed after months of it being leaked a couple of days ago, and I believe the price point was $299. And it's tiny. It's like twice the size of an Xbox controller, and that's the console. It's really small.
Oh wow.
And it's discless as well. And
Xbox Series S, right?
Xbox Series S. Yeah.
I'm looking this up right now. I haven't seen this actually at all. I know we've had some group messages about it, and I think my brain just kind of like, oh yeah, there's a new Xbox coming out, and I haven't really thought about it. And then there's a mini version. It is small. You're right.
Yeah.
It's I guess the point. So what's the point of this? Is just to have a cheaper version of the console?
It's a cheaper, supposedly powerful next-gen console, and it is tiny, and it is reasonably cheap.
Yeah, I think
which is a big
£300
step
for a next-gen console is...
What you have to think about here, again, is discless, which a lot of people are going to go, oh, I don't know about discless. Like, I like to have my discs. But I think the way you should look at the Xbox Series S is this is your Xbox Games Pass device.
Pass machine.
Right?
Yeah.
You get this, you get Xbox Games Pass, you probably never buy a game on it because you've got an infinite library of Xbox Games Pass. So, to me, it's pretty cool, actually.
I kind of like it.
I mean, how big's a hard drive? That's the question.
Oh, that is a good question.
Because, like, if it has a nice couple of terabytes on it, we're good to go. But if I'm going to have to buy a hard drive to go alongside it, I'm like...
It is 825 gigabytes. That's not bad.
Pretty good.
Okay.
That is,
why not a terabyte, though?
that is
like,
almost a
just round it up.
terabyte. That is almost a terabyte.
And that's...
It is.
That's the same controller, right? Is that the same controller as, like...
Yeah.
Like my Xbox One controller?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. There's something... I mean, I'm looking at an image of it. That looks neat, because the issue I have with the Xbox One is they're big, and they're clunky, and they got room, and they're, but this is sleek. It's got that kind of iPhone, Nintendo Wii look to it.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that's
just
probably their
tuck it
audience
away.
exactly, though, because, they want to be marketing it to every person. Like, they want it to be like a Wii, get it in all their households.
It's super interesting. I think it's really, really interesting that this is a thing. The discless thing, at first I wasn't sure about, like, I kind of almost felt like they'd missed the mark on the discless thing, because I feel like people, because this is obviously a lower spec than the Xbox Series X as well, at least I think it is. And I feel like some people are going to want a beefy Xbox and still just do the Xbox Games Pass thing. And then it's not necessarily going to want a disc drive on the Series X. But I just think it's fascinating. And I think people will complain about it being discless or whatever, but at the end of the day, this is a really cheap price point for a next generation console.
How much is kind of the Games Pass Ultimate for the year?
It's £11, I think. $10.99, something along those lines. So that gives you
What,
a month, right?
Is that a month?
A month.
Gold.
Yeah. It's not loads of money.
No, it's very good.
I'd be surprised if this doesn't come with a month or two as well. Like, I'd be really surprised.
Oh, it probably will. It probably will.
yeah, I'm sure it'll come with at least a month. They've always done that when it used to be like
Because they want
to for gold and stuff.
So it's about 130 quid per year, plus 300 that you pay for the base console. So it ends up being, £430, but you don't own any games at the end of it.
No.
But that's
But
fine.
you've played a
But that's
lot of
fine.
games in that time, right?
But you play, £130, if a AAA title's £60, you play 2 and a bit games, then you're good. But you don't own any games. You just have the, but then maybe that is the model that actually...
Just like Netflix, right? You don't own anything you watch on
it
Netflix.
works for us,
This is the thing, like, I hear this a lot from people saying, like, oh, I don't like video game streaming services because I don't own any of the games physically, yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, you're fine with Netflix, you're fine with Disney Plus, you're fine with all these things. It's just the same. Like, I don't need to own the game.
And actually, if you want to own the games, you can do that. Yeah. But you have to pay, £40 to £60 to own the game, right? Whereas what we're saying is, No. You pay £11 a month. You can borrow anything.
Yeah.
But you don't get to keep it. If you want to keep it, you've got to pay for that, you know.
But
And
in their defense, they do give you discounts on any game which is in the Game Pass, and also they think they have a further discount just before the game leaves the Game Pass as well. So if you're really enjoying something, they don't just like completely go, all right, pay 60 quid to continue your adventure in Final Fantasy. They're like, okay, well, you can get it at half price now. So it's like nice.
Again, I mean, it's something that people have been doing on Netflix for a long time now. What gets me about Xbox Games Pass is that all first-party titles are going to be on there. And, like, they're not going to... Like you mentioned, sometimes games get added on or removed. But that's only, like, another benefit of Games Pass in that, like, there's other games on there as well as the first-party ones. For me, even if it was just first-party games, it'd still be a good deal.
I agree.
Not,
I mean, like,
not quite as good a deal as if PlayStation and Nintendo did it, because PlayStation and Nintendo have more exclusives right now. But, like, imagine if Nintendo did it, right? You know?
Oh, that'd be mad.
You know,
I mean, they kind of are.
No, they're not.
They kind of are.
The thing is, though, if Nintendo did that, I'd still buy the games anyway, because there's something very collectible about Nintendo, which we'll get onto, I think, later in this podcast. There's something very collectible about those games, whereas Xbox, it's kind of like, I don't need to own Sea of Thieves, but it's nice to have access to it, you know? I don't need to own the Star Wars game, but I definitely want to, you know, play whatever the new thing is on release.
I definitely don't feel any sort of need to own. Again, we'll get into this because we've both got a point here that we will get to. I don't usually feel any need to own or collect the Nintendo games. And it's the same with PlayStation, right? Like, imagine if there was a PlayStation Games Pass. Think about it. Horizon, God of War, Spider-Man, Uncharted, The Last of Us, Bloodborne, Ratchet and Clank. Just imagine that. Like, yeah, I'd pay for that. I'd pay you $10
That's really nice.
for that.
On the stream, Josh's camera froze for a second, and his eyes were like, and it was like, just imagine.
I moved my light slightly, and it froze. My whole computer froze. I was like, what just happened? And I was just like panicking. But it's okay. It wasn't in response to the PlayStation, I promise.
All right. So yeah, but that's Xbox. Xbox Series X also had its price and release date confirmed today, according to my source, which is Jakey Shergoldy, having sent me a text earlier today. It is $499, £450 if you're in the UK, and it launches on November 10th. The day before my birthday, if anybody is interested in that.
We're all interested, Dan. We're all interested.
So, and what are you paying for that extra £150? Just a disc drive?
Good question. Let me see if I can.
What is the difference there?
Difference. You know? Wrong keyboard. Difference between Xbox Series X.
It's interesting to me that they're launching this as, you know, they're launching two consoles at once. There's something really interesting to it because I think
it's the
kind of
modern way, isn't it? It's like the iPhone way nowadays. There's the Pro and the regular, the iPads. PlayStation's doing it right with the discless version and the regular disc version. Although it's not clear if there's other differences between those. I got a little comparison here. It looks like it is the same CPU in both. The GPU, now, I don't know what a teraflop is. I'm sorry, everyone. But the Xbox Series S...
You made that up. Teraflop? What?
The Series S only has 4 teraflops, whereas the X has 12 teraflops. The Series X has 16 gigs of RAM, whereas the Series S only has 10. The X has twice as much internal storage. Obviously, the Xbox Series X has a 4K Blu-ray a 4K Blu-ray drive, and performance target. Now this is different. The Xbox Series X up to 4K 60 frames per second, or up to 120 frames per second at low resolutions. Xbox Series S up to 1440p at 120 frames per second. So the Series S does not support 4K.
Okay. No, you said a lot of numbers, but I got the last bit.
All right.
I mostly got hung up on the word teraflop, which I've Googled, and the top result is a video just saying, what the hell is a teraflop anyway? What are teraflops, and do they matter? What is a teraflop? Wait, so what is a teraflop? Polygon. No one knows what this word means.
They made it up. Confirmed.
My assumption is it is a offshoot of the pterodactyl, but rather than flying, it just...
So to
It's a real dad joke.
to sum up, better graphics card in the Series X, more RAM, more memory, disk drive, and 4K. So there's actually a lot different between the two.
Okay.
Which makes the Series S seem less appealing.
But it's not for us anyways.
No. I mean, again, and then the next comparison, of course, that we should bring up, because the big announcement that happened last week, just before the podcast last week, so we have already talked about this, is the new NVIDIA 3000 series graphics cards, which the hilarious thing is that people were arguing before this graphics card announcement that current graphics cards, the 2000 series that some of us already have, people were arguing that these are already going to be more powerful than the next generation consoles. But now the new NVIDIA graphics cards that have just been announced that are coming out this month are twice as powerful as those ones.
What?
Wow.
So
Too much power. I can't fathom.
it does.
power.
So-
If you are a PC gamer, it does feel like consoles are obsolete now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
do you say it comes out on your birthday? Obviously, you know, there's like, ooh, which one will I get? This. I'm still of the kind of opinion, well, I'll get neither until we're like probably a fair while into the ecosystem and something comes out that makes me want to get one, you know?
Yeah.
At the moment, so I've got Xbox Game Pass on my PC.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah. It's.
I'm good.
I think it's really cool what Xbox are doing. I think Games Pass is wonderful. I don't think it's for me. I think it may be for some people in chat right now, and that's awesome. And I'm so glad Games Pass exists. I think it's fantastic. But yes, the console not for me. Then again, I don't think they care too much about selling the consoles as long as you've got Games Pass. I think they care more about you having a Games Pass subscription than they do about you owning the console.
This is entirely about buying subscriptions. This is, this is what this is about. It's about selling subscriptions, and even if they get, like, let's say, you know, obviously we've realized we're PC gamers, Xbox is obsolete, right? But if we do end up buying one somewhere down the line, well, presumably we'll get the whatever the level of Game Pass is for that. So then we'll be part of that ecosystem. And it just means that when they're, 6 to 7 years down the line and they're working out what they do next, they're not looking at how many people currently own an Xbox console, how many people are going to buy it. They're going to go, okay, how many people have we got that are paying us every month that we can sell the next thing to because they're already part of our web? I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, you have to get that installation base. That's what it always comes down to, right?
So, anybody here in the podcast interested in buying one of these at launch? The S?
No.
The other one, the X? Anyone?
No.
I will say, as cool as your PC is, Dan, it doesn't have any teraflops. And I can't.
Does it flop?
Does it have any? Because if it doesn't, then I just sort of feel like you should be getting.
I could probably
these
make it
consoles.
flop. It would be quite expensive, though. I'd probably have to get another PC after that. Okay, but what
Yeah.
about the PlayStation? PlayStation 5. Are you guys interested in getting one of those?
Yeah.
No. I have no money. I got my PC. I got my Switch. I am good to go forevermore. That's all I need.
Like Toby, I again, the exclusives just do it for me.
There you go. That's the
whether
thing.
whether it's Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank,
I'm there
Horizon.
for Ratchet. I'll miss out on Ratchet. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But anyways, that's the Xbox and PlayStation side of things. But now to the sort of.
Before we start,
oh.
I'm gonna go and open a window for a hot second. Bear with me.
I just love the rip headphone users as he throws his mic.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Good opportunity to shout out if you're watching on Twitch. Hello.
Sorry.
Don't forget that you can redeem a question that we will be asking on this podcast with your channel points. If you're listening on demand on Spotify, iTunes, or watching the VOD on YouTube, hello, welcome. You can watch live on Twitch Wednesdays at 3:30 p.m. And if you're missing it on Twitch, you can. Yeah, anyways, you get the idea. Speaking of
See,
which,
I gave you some time.
yeah,
to
exactly.
Plug.
It's
It
good.
was
It's good.
perfect.
See, if I had a sponsor, I'd have done the sponsor read now, but I don't. We're a long way off of that. I am actually going to read out one of the questions a little bit early because it is a question about the consoles. Shop It Used Blair has asked, how far do you think you could throw an Xbox Series S?
Oh my god.
I gotta think about this. Not as far as I should be able to, for the mass of my body, but these are actually quite flimsy. So I think
Nowadays,
you could sort of like boomerang. I think you could like sort of like fling it.
I think that's your best bet.
But I don't know that it would how far it would go. I could probably I don't know what lengths are. The length of a truck. I don't know.
I can throw it as far as we should social distance. I think that's the best I can do.
Yeah.
That's not very far at all.
I know. I got no upper body strength.
It's,
I could throw it at least. People are saying I'm gonna steal from Twitch chat. I could throw it at least a teramile, maybe 2.
I was just thinking of that. My brain just got there as you said it, and I thought, wow, that's a really clever joke. And then everyone's
all right. We're gonna do the rest of the questions later, but let's move on to Mario. Mario, what's the name of the game, Toby?
It's all the 3D stars dancing on ice. The 2.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, no. Mario 3D All Stars was announced at the 35th anniversary, and there's a lot to talk about here because there is excitement, and there's also a little bit of controversy, little bit. So, Josh, firstly, I want to get your gut reaction. Mario 3D All Stars has been announced. How do you feel?
Excited. Like, finally we can play like games like Super Mario Sunshine, which unless you had the GameCube or Wii was the only way to play it, so now finally you can play it on Switch. Obviously Super Mario 64 has been playable on lots of other consoles anyways, and Galaxy is quite easy to come by, but Sunshine is kind of like the black sheep in the Mario 3D family, so the fact that we can finally play it again is amazing, and it's great fun. It's awesome. Oh, Delfino, man, I want to go on holiday there, unless I get impersonated and sent to jail, then that's not so good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I'm also very excited for Sunshine in particular. I love all 3 of the games. I played a lot of Super Mario 64 DS, which I do understand is the hated version of the game. But you know,
it? Oh, I enjoyed that. It was fun.
As a child that was playing my first DS game on launch, and got that, I loved it.
Did you use the thumb thing?
Oh, what, a little thumb stylus thing?
Yeah, but I had like the thumb stylus because it was like
remember
designed specifically for Super Mario 64 DS because
didn't know
they were
that.
like, oh, you can't use the actual stylus, use this cool thumb stylus.
I remember I
which no
got the
one
game when the DS came out, and I got two games with my DS. It was Mario 64 DS, which I loved the mini games for, by the way.
Yes!
The mini games are fantastic. And the second game I got with my DS when it launched was Pokemon Dash.
Oh, I never played that.
Which annihilated the screen of my DS before I'd even really had a chance to enjoy it. So that's, anyways, Mario 64. So I played that a lot on the DS, and that was good. Although I realize it's hated now. I'm looking forward to going back and sort of playing it as it's supposed to be played on the Switch. I love Galaxy, obviously. Who doesn't love Mario Galaxy? Phenomenal game. But there's something about Sunshine, and I think it's because it's my first ever Mario game. I got it after I got my GameCube, and it's just this first really open world, like 3D game that I played. And it's just a really fun game to try and collect all the shine sprites on and everything. And as Josh was saying, it's kind of the hardest to play nowadays because it's only on the GameCube. It's an old game. It looks trash on the GameCube. But the new...
Does it? I bet it doesn't look that
well,
bad.
Have you seen the comparisons?
No, I haven't.
On YouTube...
Oh,
there's direct graphics comparisons. You want to look it up later. Where people what they've done is they've taken footage from the trailer and they've recorded the same footage on their GameCube version of the game, and they've put it side by side. And the old versions, including Galaxy, look like trash compared to the new version. 480p, right? Like it's...
Yeah.
This is I played Mario Galaxy when it came out. I hadn't played 64. It was already 64 is a very famous game. I had heard about Sunshine, and obviously I knew about it. But Mario Galaxy was the first one of these big 3D Mario titles that I played. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Mario Galaxy 2, I actually didn't like too much at first. I've grown to adore it even more than the first one. And I went, I love both of these games. I'm always playing GameCube games as well. And Dan says, well, I've got Sunshine. You've got to play Sunshine. Gives me Sunshine. And I'm normally quite good with old graphics, and I'm sitting there going, I can't play this. I can't tell what's what on the screen. Everything is just meshing together in this big, blurry thing. And I felt kind of like, I think I've missed out on something here. 64, I think because it's so few polygons that you're working with. Everything's quite clear what everything is and where it is, but Sunshine's just somewhere in this weird middle space. So to see it redone, it's exciting for me because for me, I get to play this game and I know I'm going to enjoy it because there's going to have been some quality control. At the same time, I'd happily play Mario Galaxy on the Wii still, and I'm happy to pay to play games again.
I want to do a little sample. So for those of you in Twitch chat, this is your opportunity. I'm putting a little poll in chat to join in. Just type in. I want to know which game you're most excited for. Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy. Type #1 in chat for 64, #2 in chat for Sunshine, #3 in chat for Galaxy. So feel free to enter as well yourself, guys. Toby, Josh. I don't know which one I'm excited for.
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'm quite excited for... I think I'm most excited for Sunshine, right? I've never not played 64 or Sunshine before, so 2 out of 3 games in this renewed collection are new to me.
That's cool.
But the third one, I love it so much, I'm happy to buy the whole collection, and if I'm gonna play them through in order. So I know I've got this really good, cool game to end on, but then I'm gonna have these new experiences along the way. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just sad that they didn't do Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
I guess it would just be a bit of a weird marketing thing, wouldn't it? The Mario 3D collection, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy, and Mario Galaxy 2. I don't know. It just doesn't quite have the same...
yeah.
But I agree.
They could have called it Mario Galaxy Super that contains 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They could have done that. They could have done it.
Yeah. But they are very similar games, I guess. 2 is the more expanded, more perfected, more polished. Polished is that the word? More refined?
No, polished.
I think refined, polished. The main difference between them, I think, is Mario Galaxy 1. If you're going for that 100% completion, you sort of have the levels that you're going to do, the order. They're dictated to you at a sort of somewhat random configuration of, now this world's open, now this world's open, now this mission. Whereas Mario Galaxy 2, it's very linear, and you know how many stars you're missing, and you can go back and say, okay, I want to complete this in this order, and it's clearer where the gaps are and what you're missing.
Yeah.
I honestly think Galaxy 2 is a better game, which makes me really sad that we only got Galaxy 1, which is a shame.
I mean, you never know in the future whether they'll
I'm sure if this sells well.
I'm excited enough to get Galaxy 1 to be honest, and also the others. Like, this is a lot of game time in this little collection.
For the price of Mario Odyssey, right? Like, that's not...
So Mario Sunshine won 60% of people.
Yes!
Most excited for Mario Sunshine. And I think it's because it's the hardest to play. It's the one the least people have played. My friend Owen as well was saying, I'm most excited for Mario Sunshine because it's the one I haven't played. Because I feel like everyone's played 64 at some point, whether that was on your 64 or on your DS. 64 is such a prominent game in sort of gaming history. And most people have played Galaxy at some point. Most people have had a Wii U, most people have had that opportunity to play Galaxy. But I don't think most people... Sunshine feels like the kind of subtle one in the middle that sort of just crept by when we were all sort of a little bit too young to collect all of the games. And so I think that's why Sunshine's the one people are most looking forward to.
It's also the most different. Like,
True.
It's the first time Mario's got a different gimmick, I guess, which has been throughout the whole game since Cappy is like the closest thing you can compare to Flood.
Yeah.
Because 64 in Galaxy.
Well, he's got a spin attack. He's got a spin attack in Galaxy, right?
Don't say the spin attack is
and your ability to use your Wii remote to pick up stars.
Oh, good motion controls. I've always been saying that one thing Nintendo needs to add more into their games is more motion controls. I'm so happy they finally listened.
I wonder how that's going to work with the Joy-Con.
Oh, they
Second
talked about that.
Joy-Con, right?
You can use the Joy-Cons as if they're Wiimotes. They have like a nunchuck mode, which you can unhook them, and it essentially turns one of them into a nunchuck.
Yeah.
But it demoed it on the trailer.
Okay.
They've definitely thought about it in regards to that, which is good.
Side tangent here. I saw Olsey put in chat about and presumably this means Zelda next year, because next year's the 35th of Zelda. Do you mind if I hijack this into Zelda territory for a moment?
Can we get a CDI collection?
You do, Toby. Go ahead.
All right. Here's the thing, right? I'm excited for this, but I'm really excited for any Zelda port in any way coming to the next thing. And if they're doing this, you know, and they've got the whole Wii Remote, nunchuck, motion controls, the big one, Skyward Sword, it came out on the Wii. It looked bad when it came out on the Wii. Just like Sunshine, it's one of those games that the least people have kind of played. They can port Twilight Princess and Wind Waker from the Wii U. They could bring the 3D Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask from DS to here, or they could just do like they did with 64 and do it for Ocarina of Time. You could have a Triforce collection. There's so much you could do, and they're gonna do it next year. And if they don't, I'm just gonna cry, and that's it.
I literally have the old Zelda collection disc.
Ah.
And it's my favorite thing. I
It's
got
beautiful.
that as a child, and it was like how I got into Zelda. So like, I would love for them to release a new one, because think about how many new people will get into my favorite game. It'd be awesome.
But yeah, either way, very, very exciting. And it is time to talk about the buts. And I've had a brief chat with Toby about this.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And other people are probably aware of this, but maybe sort of half paid attention because it was at the end of a very hyped trailer and it was kind of easy to miss. This collection is only available to purchase until March, and then it gets cut off. And not just physical copies, but you can no longer buy the digital edition after March either. Now, maybe that doesn't seem like a big deal, but like when you think about it, what does it cost them to just leave it up for sale? It costs them nothing. So it's this crazy manipulative marketing move. And the more I think about it, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan of this.
I mean, there's been like Nintendo have been doing this ever since any collection disc. Every collection disc they've released has always had this kind of limited run. You go back to the first Super Mario All-Stars and the SNES, they did the same thing for that. The Zelda collection disc was packaged in with only Double Dash for some reason. So it doesn't shock me that they've decided to take this route again, but it does feel very backwards in kind of today's.
It's the
like,
fact
in the modern
that
age.
it's the fact that it's the digital edition as well that really bothers me.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
can't you
I
just
can get that.
Why can't you just leave that up?
It feels like we're past that age, you know.
But that's Nintendo, right? Like,
Well,
they're always a little bit living behind.
is it that way
like
around,
Zelda.
or is it the other way around, Toby, where this is the beginning of an age where companies are going to start to adapt this and start to do this?
Limited digital releases, I think they'll continue to be not popular because I don't know, what does it achieve? Okay, it boosts some pre-orders, but like the same amount of people are probably going to buy this game either way.
I think it's the
I don't know.
collector mentality. Like, I definitely know that I felt special because I had this Zelda collection disc, because I knew how rare it was, and the fact that I had that, it felt like it was like, oh my god, I had something which was rare, which really, when you think about it, wasn't too hard to get hold of. You just needed to buy Mario Kart Double Dash on release, and then it comes with it, I think. But for me, as a kid, it was like, oh my god, I got this rare collection disc, and it had like, it carried more weight because of that. And the same when I got the Mario All-Stars Wii port, which comes in this lovely like slick red case. It was really, really cool. It was a big deal when I got it for my for Christmas that year. So like, I can understand that. Like, I think there is something to that. I was talking to Kenichi about it the other day, saying like that kind of rarity is kind of nice. But I do realize that you're cutting people out of your content for no apparent reason. You know, so.
Rarity is nice in like that collectible aspect is, like I said, it's something that Nintendo does really, really well. Like, I got the limited edition version that comes with this unique thing, and that this proves that, because I think with Zelda and Mario and Pokemon, and it's one of those things that people really want to wear it. Like, I'm a fan of this thing, and how better to prove you're a fan than to have a limited edition release? But I don't think that does a lot for people out there who are gonna want to buy this thing in like a year's time and go, oh, you know, like they'll buy whatever the next Mario Odyssey is, or the next Mario game, and go, oh, I'd really like to play some old Mario games, and then they don't have access to it, or they're going to go out their way to hunt it down, or I don't think it's very like pro player in the long run. I just think it's a little bit exciting for the few people that will get that. Yeah, I'm a diehard, you know, I can wear that. Like,
what concerns me is the idea of, and I even said I might even do it myself, which is disgusting, the idea of people buying multiple copies. And
Yep.
And for not, like, I mean, the idea, what I was planning on doing isn't the like evil manipulative part. What I was planning on doing is, just buying an extra copy, not opening it, and keeping it for years as a collector's item, maybe selling it in the future.
Rub it in small children's faces because they don't have it.
But like, no,
okay.
the bad thing people do, and they are already doing it, is somehow securing themselves copies and already selling them on eBay for like £100. Already.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Like, how they can possibly, like, scalping? Is that what it's called? Is that the term?
It's a legitimate, I mean, it's an issue with all collectibles, is people going, this thing's going to be limited, I'm going to buy it literally to do the resell. And I think people like that just kind of suck. We had that with the Pokemon Center in London. People going, oh, these plushies are going to be limited edition, I'm going to queue up and buy as many as I can and then get back in the queue. And people did that literally all day, every day, just to resell that product at a higher price. And I just think, you're a scumbag,
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. If you're buying it, maybe you want to buy a digital and a physical, right? Or maybe you want to buy yourself a backup copy or a copy that you can share with a friend or with a partner or something. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to make use of it. It's fine. But if you're buying it, like, going short term, I'm going to flip it and make some profit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, really? Are you that? Okay, thanks. I mean, I guess people need to make money, but...
No. That's gross. And I think that's where it
like
makes it bad. Like, I think the whole exclusivity would be okay if people weren't bad people. But people are.
But even then, like, what happens if you somehow break your copy of the game, right?
Yeah.
In 2 years, 3 years' time, you realize your copy of the game is broken and you can't get another one.
I mean, here's something. What happens if you... Because all games have a warranty, right? What happens if you buy this in March, it's broken, and you want to take it back? How does that work? We must have a precedent for this with limited edition items. Like...
That's a good point.
Do you send it... Do the game stores have to send it to Nintendo, and Nintendo has a backup batch of, limited edition figurines and Joy-Cons and games?
Or maybe the warranty, maybe for this game in particular, they can only do warranties until March.
Maybe.
Which would be ludicrous. But Nintendo are already bad when it comes to customer service on that front anyway, especially with the online store, because even when you look at Steam, you get 2 weeks to decide if you want to keep a game you bought on Steam, and as long as you haven't played it for 2 hours within 2 weeks, you can refund it for all your money back. Even Microsoft Xbox Store and stuff like that. And stores like that have a similar policy.
Does Xbox have that? I'm pretty sure if that's a Steam thing only, and it has.
I think it does. Hang on, I'm gonna look that up while I keep talking. But Nintendo has no refund policy whatsoever. Once you've bought a game on the Nintendo Store, eStore, that's it. It's yours, whether you like it or not, whether it works or not, and you've paid for it. That's yours.
Yeah.
And it's always so expensive on the Nintendo, shop. They do not do sales like Steam does sales.
Here's the full policy. Games and apps are eligible for self-service refunds within 14 days of purchase if you have less than 2 hours of play across all accounts. You must wait at least 1 day after the game or app's release before requesting a self-service refund. That is on the Microsoft Store in Xbox and Windows. So yeah, it's identical to Steam's basically.
Oh, okay. What about? I bet PlayStation don't know.
Let's take a look.
I have that funny feeling. Because it's just like one of those things which
how to request a refund for PlayStation Store purposes. After purchasing this type of content through PlayStation Store, you have 14 days from purchase to request a refund to your payment method on PlayStation Network.
Nintendo.
If you started to download or stream the purchase content, you are not eligible for refund unless the content's faulty. Oh, okay. So with PlayStation, you can only do it if you haven't played it yet. But with Xbox and Steam, you're allowed to play it for up to 2 hours before refunding.
I think it's pretty generous that they let you play up to 2 hours.
I think it's generous too. Yeah.
I the idea that you get to open it, play it, experience it, and go, you know what, this is for me or isn't for me. But again, that's part of companies that do this stuff. Giving away a little something for free, it wins you customers. Yeah. I mean, you look at the loyalty that people have to Steam when like Epic's Game Store comes in. You can argue that these things are good for the consumer or not, but that loyalty doesn't just come from people hating maybe Epic. It also comes from people going, and these guys have treat me well for a long, long time. 2 hours of free gameplay? What does that cost you? How much realistically in refunds is that costing you versus the amount of people that stay on your platform long term, spend money. It's slightly intangible, but it's
Depends how scummy the gamer is, right?
The player
you
is,
just,
right?
just buy everything on Steam, play an hour and a half, and then refund it again.
Yeah, I just saw Zeta in chat. He was like 2 hours speedrun. That's the play.
But like, okay, so I run a little bit of a scam sometimes. Okay,
BirdKeeperToby exposed.
This is the expose, and I'm really sorry that I do this, Apple. I love you. You're an amazing company, but every time a pair of headphones of mine goes bust, turns out headphones have warranty on them, just like your phone and everything else. And if you take in a pair of headphones, unlike a phone, it doesn't really have like a serial number or anything, or so I've found so far. And you can just kind of walk into the store and say, my headphones are broke, I think they're under warranty, and get a new set. And then every time I get a new phone, usually about once a year, I get a new set of headphones with them. And so any pair of headphones is always pretty much always covered under a warranty. Whenever I have a broken pair of headphones, as long as they haven't been through the washing machine or something. And you could think, okay, it's a slightly cheeky, probably shouldn't do it thing that I do to make sure I've always got working headphones. Anyway, ultimately, Apple probably know there are customers out me like that who abuse that system a little bit. But because I have such a good experience with Apple and with their phones, and I do get away with that a little bit, I feel very loyal to them. I feel incredibly loyal to their products, to their phones. I'll always buy it. I'll never buy a knockoff pair of headphones ever. Like if I really need to rebuy one, I'll just buy an actual pair, because that's the loyalty that they've earned by having these systems where they're not going to grill you on every single transaction, make sure you've got the correct number or what. Like, they're just going to go, oh, your product's not working? Don't worry, we got you.
No, to be fair,
We'll take the hit.
Apple are particularly good when it comes to any sort of customer service. I've never, ever had a bad customer experience with Apple. If anything has ever been broken, you take it in. They just basically, you got a faulty phone, you take it in, within 20 minutes, you walk out with a brand new phone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's good though. It's good that they do that, because you do have
It's
to pay
fantastic.
that premium for them, right? Like, if I had to spend that amount of money,
Of course,
then...
no, of course, you definitely pay for that. But like, I guess
sure.
what I'm saying is, you get that service that you are paying for. They don't, they do not skimp out when it comes to. And some of us have had some pretty bad customer service experiences recently, so let's appreciate it when we.
Apple is like, they've won me for life. As far as I'm concerned, they have won me for life. Every customer experience service thing, those things where you're waiting on the phone. If you want to, get your problem resolved quicker, go online to www. And you're like, it's grating, and the person on the end of the phone, they've got their script and stuff, and you go in angry, and you come out just kind of like sad that you've lost some of your day. I've never had a customer service with Apple that hasn't left me feeling happier at the end of the call and excited to go into the call. You shouldn't feel that way when your products are broken. No one, but they do it. They do it so well. They do it magically. Do you know, every good time. The first customer experience thing I had with Apple ever that won me over, guys. Dan, I think you might know this. Josh, I don't know if you will. My laptop, the screen kept going dark as if it was like powering down. Why is my laptop, my lovely MacBook, these things cost a lot of money, they shouldn't break. I call them up, they say, you've got a Genius Bar appointment. You walk in, I walked in, sat down, within 2 seconds he goes, show me what you do. And I go to do some typing, and I'm like, and sometimes the screen just goes dark. And he goes, your bracelet is magnetic, and you're hovering over the bit of the MacBook that when the laptop closes, it tells the screen that it's shut off. It was like Sherlock Holmes. And I walked out. I never had that problem again. That is not something that any other company would be trained to deal with or even think about. And that's it. I'm one for life. I will always buy Apple products. I will always rave about them.
I think that story is really funny because, like, imagine you just decided not to wear the bracelet that day.
Right. It's great.
You look like an idiot.
Yeah. So stoked, though, about Apple. I just can't handle it,
It is rare that you get these good customer service experiences, for sure. I ordered something on a website a while back to do with the PC, so a week or two ago. And I realized I ordered it to the wrong address. I meant to order it to Ausie's address, and I accidentally ordered it to my own address. And so I decided, I'm going to call them up and try and get that delivery moved. and I was on hold the next day. So it was the next day. I woke up at like 10 and dialed the number at like 10 a.m. or something. I was on hold for 3 hours before I got through to anyone. And you know what? After that 3 hours, I just hung up. I just gave up. I didn't even get through to anyone at the end of the 3 hours I was on hold for. I was like, whatever. It can arrive to my place. I'll take it to Ollie's. It is not worth this 3 hour phone call. But yeah, so like it's pretty rare to get good customer experience for anything, because like I guess it's people that are trained to be moaned at. That's kind of like what their job is in customer service. It's to have people, they only call up when there's something going wrong, so they're the people that are used to having abuse thrown at them. And yeah, they shouldn't be treated badly, but yeah, that's what happens.
Dan.
Oh no.
Your stream has got a bit far. Oh, there we go. You fixed it. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
They just zoomed in on me. That's fine. It's
okay.
Yeah, a new thing I implemented a few weeks ago, and I forgot to use it until just that little speech.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can zoom in on it. There we go.
I've been keeping an eye on chat, and I was just like, oh, it zoomed into Dan's face. Is that meant to do? Okay, cool. Never mind. Ha ha ha.
Give us a little speech, Josh. We're on you right now.
Oh!
I'm
sorry!
Oh, Josh, you know there's I didn't actually warn you this before. I should tell all of the podcast guests this. So we've been doing this thing where we've been playing Halo on stream, on comms, and see Twitch chat is saying it. You don't have to do it because I never told you. But there's a rule on the stream where when someone swears on comms, they have to gift a sub.
Wow. I mean, it's only been once, right?
It's actually not only been once.
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you're listening to the VODs on YouTube or iTunes or whatever, I've cut them out so you won't necessarily know what we're talking about. But there's been a couple cheeky swears, and even Josh, you may not have noticed it, but Twitch chat certainly has.
Oh God, how many have I done? Is it?
Only two.
I think it's been two. Been two. But look, I'm really impressionable, Josh, and like I had such a sweet mind before this podcast, and I just don't know that I'm gonna come out the same man.
Oh no, I'm sorry, everyone, if I've offended people's ears. I'm sorry, and I there's only one way I can make it up to you guys, I guess. There's only one thing I can do, and I will get on that as soon as this podcast is finished. I'll set the record straight.
Again, don't feel any obligation to do that. Again, I never told you before, so it's fine.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
sorry.
So that's we've talked about the Xboxes, we've talked about Mario, we've talked about Apple. I guess next up really is answering the questions that we've been posed in the podcast. So. Because we've got quite a few, and feel free to ask more if you're watching live. We'll go with the most recent one first. Garlic Breadman says, "How was your birthday, Mr. Josh?"
Thank you. Yeah, it's been very good. I was saying to the guys that my dad beat me at Mario Party, which is a low point in my Mario Party career. But apart from that, it's been good.
Yeah, losing to a parent at a video game never feels good, does it?
But I mean, in my defense, it was through like bonus stars, so that's better, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's Mario.
I feel like you're just giving me that, but I'll take it. I'm gonna take it and run with it.
Fruit asks, "What is your least favorite Mario platformer? Can be either 2D or 3D. Your least favorite Mario platformer." Okay, so actually, this is a fun story.
Yeah.
They announced the re-release of Mario 3D Land, the Nintendo Wii U version.
Yeah.
It's coming out on Switch. Plus Bowser's Fury or something. I guess that's like an extension at the end.
3D World.
Now Toby.
One on the DS.
Sorry, 3D World.
Sorry.
Now Toby got this game on his Wii U. He got his Wii U, and I insisted, Toby, you've got to get Mario World. The game looks so good. The reviews are so good, and it's co-op, and we can play together. Please get Mario World.
I was interested in a Wii U because I've always been a Nintendo fanboy, and Zelda Wind Waker, one of my favorite games of all time, coming out on the Wii U, right? And there's gonna be future Nintendo games that I'm gonna want. I get a Wii U. I get off reluctantly, but I was like, I can't just buy a whole Wii U for Wind Waker. And Dan says, well, there's a new Mario game. Trust me, you're going to want it. It's going to be big, you know. And you look at it and you look at all the art assets and you're like, actually, it looks pretty good. This looks like it's the next step. You know, I've played Mario Galaxy before. This is going to be pretty good, right? And I get the Wii U. And I play Wind Waker. And, you know, I binge it. So 2 days in and I've completed it. And, okay, it's time for Mario. And we play this game and we're just like, what's this? This isn't Galaxy. This isn't... What? It's like 3 axes and this isn't free massive exploration. It's just I don't know, it's a bit underwhelming comparatively to like Mario Galaxy. Sent my Wii U back.
Now we
Bought
actually
a new one in a
played
few
it all.
months.
We actually played it all together. Mario World. The 3 of us because Toby and I were living in our student accommodation. And I believe Josh came over and we all played it together for like 2
I remember
or 3
this
hours.
day.
And I just remember being really disappointed with it. What did you think of it, Josh?
Was that?
I actually enjoyed it. I'm not gonna
liked
lie,
it?
I've really enjoyed Super 3D World. I've played it as like a family game. We play it as a group, and I had some really good times over Christmas playing it. It also is quite a lot in the game as well. Once you finish it, you unlock Rosalina and stuff, and then there's all the Captain Toad stuff. I feel like it's a quite big game, but it's not Mario Galaxy. And I think that's the biggest problem with that game was Nintendo's kind of marketing. It was like, oh, this is the next big Mario game, when really it was more of a side Mario game. It was like a new Super Mario Bros. Kind of situation over it being like Mario Galaxy 3.
So that's a kind of question I have, is because with Mario they've kind of got the 2D platformers and then they've got the 3D big spectacle games, and you know, New Super Mario Bros. They did that on the Wii and Wii U as well. They did like a number of iterations of that, and they reported that to the Switch as well. This kind of sits somewhere in the middle of those two, right? Where it's like it's 2D, but it's also 3D. 2.5D is like it's somewhere in that middle zone. But what I do remember, and what people say quite fondly about that series, is that there was the 3DS version, right? And you had that, Dan, I think.
Mario Land? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and that was good, right? That was.
Yeah.
It was fine.
enjoyable.
Like it wasn't. Again, it wasn't a Mario Galaxy by any means. For a portable game at the time, it was very good. The levels were really short.
Right.
I remember like being particularly surprised at how short. Like I'm talking like literally 2 minutes to beat a level. Like no time at all. Really short. You could sit down, do a poo, play a level, and then
Well, I mean that depends how long your poo is, I suppose.
Well,
but
how quickly?
Now we know, Vodan.
we know how long your poo is.
They vary. You know, just like the length
day-
of the levels, they vary.
They vary, you know, but more or less, more often than... I like this idea that you're like, oh man, I need to go to the toilet. DS. this is like, it's specifically, that's the purpose of it. I remember this day you're talking about though, the Wii U day, because I'm 99% sure that's the day that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were announced. Because I'm sure one of you, either Josh or Dan, you came in and were kind of like, oh, by the way, look, there's a new Pokemon trailer. And it was like Groudon and Kyogre, you know, showing up, looking all 3D. But you obviously don't remember that.
I don't remember that. But yes, Twitch chat, of course I wipe. Jeez. This is what you get with Twitch chat.
Yeah, of course he wipes his DS clean.
After pooping.
After pooping.
Right. Ace Trainer Devon has... So my answer to that question, Fruit, was... Mario 3D Land World is actually my least favorite.
Yes.
Game. Mostly because of disappointment, not because of the game necessarily being bad.
You know what?
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, mine's Mario Galaxy.
What?
What?
I honestly think it hasn't aged that well. I think
No.
I'd be really
No.
curious to see what you guys think once you go back and play it.
No. I played it like 3 years ago, and you're wrong. It's so good.
It's like a solid Mario game, but I think the problem... it's a good game, but it's not a good Mario game, because it kind of doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, it's like, am I a 3D exploration Mario game like 64 and Sunshine, or am I a, like, course clear Mario game like 3D World or something like that? Because you don't have that open space which you get in, like, Odyssey and Sunshine and 64. It feels like it has an identity crisis. And like the amount of the power-ups you get once and never use again, it just seems like there's a lot of wasted potential in that. And I think Galaxy 2 is a lot better because it takes all the things established in Galaxy and makes them a lot better.
They're definitely both course clears, not 3D exploration games, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're saying words, and my brain is refusing to accept them. So I'm sure your critique is very valid and good, but I'm just saying.
I remember
rubbish.
the one that using power at one time being a thing. There's not much exploration.
Yeah.
Like the home world.
Like the spring thing.
Yeah. Well, no, you use that one quite a few times, I think. But like, there's a few that you. Oh, is it really only twice? There's
no, like it's that kind of level. It's like, you use it like maybe twice.
There's like a drill one that you don't use very much, I think.
The boo one. That was like a big deal in the
but
back of a box. And
they're all so fun when you do use them. Like you're
I don't
saying,
know if
drill
that's
Mario.
necessarily a
That's so
critique
exciting.
though, because it's like it's a lot of variety, and like I think at the end of the day, if all of the power ups are polished and all fun to use, then what's the problem with only using them each few times? If it means that there's more of them.
I'm gonna change my mind. It's not New Super Mario World or whatever it was that we played on the Wii U. It's New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, because I think New Super Mario Bros. Was really great on the DS. Like I loved that, and I played the heck out of that.
Yeah.
But moving it onto the Wii and the Wii U and the Switch, and I'm just sitting there like, this is a DS game.
Yeah.
Actually, you're making a good point there. Like, actually, it's not Mario Galaxy. I got a good response from you guys. So, but I've done that bit, so I'm moving on. It's actually New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii, because I think that's actually that is another game which I feel like this is a mark, because it wants to be a multiplayer game, but also wants you to be able to enjoy it in single player, and you just kind of can't do both.
At the time, it felt like Bad Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
And I think now it feels like on reflection, looking back at other similar games that have come out in sort of in a close time frame to that, it feels very much like it is bad Rayman Legends.
Yeah. I get that as well. That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like I wonder how much Ubisoft like looked at New Super Mario Bros. And go, okay, let's not make this mistake, because it feels like that's what happened.
And I agree with Toby with Deluxe as well, in the fact that like the thing is, shortly after Deluxe came out on the Switch, Mario Maker 2 came out on the Switch, and one of those is far superior to the other.
Well, that's the thing, is that Mario Maker is the new Super Mario Bros. Really, like it has everything you need. It even has the multiplayer now as well. So there's literally no point for Nintendo to be bringing out the other ones.
So how many iterations of that game are there? Right, because there's New Super Mario Bros. On the DS.
Of that game series, you mean? As in the new Super Mario Bros. Series?
Yeah.
New Super Mario Bros.
They're all separate games.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii, New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. That's it. It's the 3, right?
No,
New Super Mario Bros. 2 in 2012, apparently.
Yeah, on the 3DS. I had that, and that was actually quite fun, because it did try and do something a little bit different, because it's all about coin collecting.
Coins, yeah, I remember.
I didn't know how many of them were new games and how many of them were ports.
So
I really didn't.
So there's 4 games that are called New Super Mario Bros. There's New Super Mario Bros., New Super Mario Bros. 2, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Only one of them got ported, which is the Wii U one, which got ported to the Switch.
And then there's none of them are actually new anymore.
No,
They're all
old.
But wasn't there like a variation that's like a Luigi centric?
Yes,
like
the DLC for the Wii.
It was a DLC for the sure.
Which apparently is the best version of New Super Mario Bros. Because it's kind of like a rehash of the original game, but it's harder. Like Luigi controls dramatically different to Mario in this version.
Yeah, New Super Mario Bros. U, which was then made deluxe on the Switch. So that's the one that was ported. But like,
I think that's where all the confusion lies. But the original DS one is fantastic, and that's like one I can say that I've played and really, really enjoyed.
Same.
But, yeah.
I liked the multiplayer in that. That was actually really good fun.
It was versus, wasn't it? It was like a versus multiplayer.
Was so good.
Yeah,
that was
good.
Anyways,
the little shell power up. Man,
yes,
it was so good. It was so good.
In conclusion, Josh is wrong about Mario Galaxy. Okay, next question. Real Ace Trainer Devin asks, how many teraflops can you do? Sub goal on stream? Teraflop competition? What would a teraflop look like in physical form?
I mean, I'm just thinking of everybody do the flop from Tom Scar's videos. That's
It
all
definitely-
in my mind right now.
involves my belly in some
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it could involve my green wall behind me as well, like flopping against that in some way. I don't.
That's good.
Yeah. Flop on the. Oh, Shepard says the ground. Okay.
It's not.
There's that
It's not-
Kingdom Hearts character called Terra. Maybe he flops.
It's not about how many can you do. It's about how many should you do. What's socially acceptable number. You know,
Especially
and
social
what's
distancing, right? You got to think about that.
you got to take these things into account. You know, and you don't want to just like you need to get permission from like the council. You don't want to be teraflopping just
Too
anywhere.
much, yeah.
It's dangerous. It's genuinely kids don't
Please
drink,
don't
drive, and
teraflop.
don't drink, drive, and teraflop. Okay, it's not.
Don't.
I
try
know
and
I've
do that.
said some rude words, but the takeaway from this is like you can swear, that's fine, but just don't teraflop.
Don't.
Please.
You know.
Is that the message? Is that correct message, Dan? Have I done this right?
Sure.
Social
Well, you know what? That's fine. That's the answer. And on that note, I think it's time to start wrapping this bad boy up. So, Josh,
Yes.
where can these wonderful people find you?
You can come and find me and my cohorts, Dieter and George, over at ConcreteDonkey. Please go and check us out over on Twitch. We'll be streaming after Toby's thing, because you're doing a thing after this, right?
Oh, are you? How good? Let me know in chat, and then I can raid you, and we can have a whole raid stream party.
Yes, that sounds like a
That'd be
plan.
good.
We're going to be playing some Super Mario Bros. On the Mario All-Stars, which just got released on the SNES on your Switch. So yeah,
Right.
that's our plan. Me and George will be
Topical.
playing that. Yes, exactly.
Sweet. So you're going to be streaming after Toby,
Mhm.
which means Toby, you're streaming today.
I'm going to be streaming after this. You can also find me on Twitter at BirdKeeperToby, where you will find me ranting and raving, complaining about certain companies and singing praises about others.
Excellent. Also, you can find them in the links in the chat that Garlic Bread Man is spamming. And I'm Falcone. You can catch me here at twitch.tv/Falcone hosts, where you'll catch this podcast every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. And of course, it's going to go on YouTube as well. In fact, guys, little cheeky plug. Today's YouTube video, which should have just hopefully, if it's scheduled correctly, should have just come out. I'm really happy with it. I think it's the highest quality YouTube video that I've made so far in terms of the sort of camera angle and the editing and everything, and I'm just happy with it. And I hope people watch it and enjoy it, and I hope that it was good.
Sounds
Look
exciting.
forward to it.
Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week.